Hi guys, so this is a video about a gameplay replay of the Atlanta. I was having a little bit of difficulty getting used to the ship. I'm still quite new to the game. So I watched a video, I forget who it was by. I think it was probably the Mighty Jingles video. And they were suggesting play the ship a little bit differently to what you would. So the Atlanta is a cruiser with destroyer type guns, 127mm guns, as you can see. If we could have a quick look at the armour layout before we do the replay, and I'll tell you a bit about that in a second, we'll pretty much see that it's not got a lot of armour. It's got a high citadel, but it's very vulnerable to plunging attacks. It's got a little bit of armour on the turrets, but not a lot. It essentially is a big destroyer with a very small amount of 90mm, well 89mm armour on the citadel belt. If you look at the citadel, so you would turn the other armours off, and this is the citadel, and it's very vulnerable. Even if it has got this armour on the front, the armour on the top is only 32mm. So very easy to citadel for most battleships. Hence the fact that it's often known as the floating citadel. So, normal gameplay technique, as I've learned for this ship, is to hide behind an island and lob shells over. And in this gameplay sequence you're about to see, for the most part, it's kind of what we did. We did have some open water. There's not a lot happens in the opening sort of half of the match. We spend a lot of time positioning with a small squadron of ships. And then the odds become stacked against us because our other flank, our opposite flank, collapses. And, well, the question is, should we have won this? In the end, I do something a little bit radical for me in this type of ship. And I think the combination of that and the other players played quite a big part in the outcome of the battle. As you can see, as well as the artillery, we've got limited range. The captain we have, though, does have advanced fire training, which very much helps. I don't yet have enough points for concealment expert. Torpedo range is limited to 4.5 kilometers, so very much an ambush type ship. AA defense, well, we're not worried about aircraft in the Atlanta too much. The Atlanta is fairly manoeuvrable, but it's got quite a slow rudder shift. I mean, long, it doesn't turn tremendously well. But concealment for a ship of its size is not too bad. And I'm hoping to get concealment expert, which will make quite a difference. So, without further ado, let's get you into the battle. Please watch to the end. It's quite an exciting fight, especially for somebody like me who's still pretty much a noob and a beginner at the game. So, time for the battle. It was pretty much the full 20-minute battle, and as I say, there wasn't a huge amount happened in the first 10 minutes of the game. In fact, what you'll see is if you're looking at the map, the mini-map, you'll see that we're splitting up into three main forces. We've got 4 ships on the right flank and 4 ships on the left flank. The remaining ships have gone down the middle. So I'm just going to make my way down to the main island. It's roughly in around about E4, E5. And I sit there for a little part of the game. And as is always with the Atlanta, which is quite difficult, you could argue there was a little bit cautious. Even with the captain I've got,
as you can see, I've got the extended range on the guns. I can still only shoot out to about 13 kilometres. And the enemy ships, when you see them in a few minutes come into view, will stay quite well out of that range for a good proportion of the game. So we've got the York and the Leander heading out. So we've got 2 cruisers and we've got 2 battleships on our side. Now, on the other side, I think in the middle, you're probably seeing...
Massive storm.
Oh, there we go, that's the first ship coming in. See, it's just out of range at 13.9 kilometres. I'm thinking, well, they're going to advance up. So I'll keep coming in, I'll swing around behind these 2 islands and I'll tuck in. We've spotted an Eisenhower. So far so good. A few shots have been exchanged, but nothing major. We have 3 ships advancing. But what's happened is we've got the New York has seemingly fallen back. Not sure why. They were with that flotilla, and we've got the Nicholas has gone charging down the centre channel. Now this is interesting because as much as you try to notice as much of what's going on in the game as you can, you don't always see everything until you review the replay, which is what I'm doing now. Obviously, I'm doing this commentary. Again, it's off the cuff as I normally do because I can't stand reading from the script. I don't do it well, so I pretty much do the commentary live. I'm watching the replay now. So we've got a Nelson, an Algier. Is that my pronunciation again? On this right flank. The Leander is in the centre channel. It looks like our Nicholas is going to try and overload it. And also we've got a Pentecosta and a De Grasse and going down the centre channel as well. It's always very risky going down the centre channel. Now fortunately there are no carriers, which is probably what's tempted them to go down there. Now we've got our Furutaka out there on the flank, taking a few hits. It's a cruiser. And the other enemy ship's sitting well back. We've got Molotov over there. Now I'm sure I've seen that ship before actually. I've come across that clan before. The Booby clan. So I've popped across. I'm going to scout across to see whether I can get anything. So obviously that my concealment's good. I know I've popped a radar, so I'm fairly confident that that there's no destroyer nearby. So I'm taking a wide berth. I haven't had a lot to do so far in the game. I haven't done much. We're 5 minutes in and I still haven't even fired a shot. The enemy ships are pretty much undetected. So again, as you can see, a little flotilla has decided to continue its charge down the centre channel. And we've lost our first ship. First ship has gone down. Just trying to see which one it is. I'd imagine it's one of the ones in the centre channel because we've still got... Have we still got our Furutaka? Yeah, we've still got our Furutaka on this side. Now, the ships on this side are going to play quite a pivotal role in the game. And there's one ship, you see there, the Colorado. The Colorado, well, you'll see what's going to happen, but it's pretty much going to be the only surviving ship from that side. Now, there's an ambush forming, as you can see on the map, there's an ambush forming for the 3 ships that are going out there. They are all going to die very quickly. They're all going to immediately get broadside, and this is what the other 3 ships have fallen back out of range for. They do initially do some damage to the enemy team. But they're running into essentially a crossfire. So you can see there's 4 ships, there's 8 ships, roughly 8 ships in range of them. And that's why, generally speaking, it's not a good idea to go down there. So the destroyer's gone. We've lost another battleship. The De Grasse and the Pentecoster are there, but they're going to get they've managed to take a light cruiser out. I think they might get one more, but it's not really looking good. So I'm still on this flank. Those ships have fallen well back, and they've fallen well back for good reason, because they've fallen back to counter those two ships there. And our little group of ships here on this flank, well, we're doing nothing more than firing the odd pot shot. We're not really doing a lot of damage. And I'm thinking, well, do I go down for the attack? I can't. I go down there, I'll get picked off. Now that their two ships are still present, they've managed to take out another enemy cruiser. But they're probably not going to last much longer. They're still in a crossfire. You can see that the other ships are angled well. Another one's just dropped. There's just the Pensacola left. Now I've decided by now that it probably looks a good time to go back and defend. As you can see, the flank's collapsing. The New York's in trouble. It's broadside onto the enemy. Colorado's already realised that it's hopeless down there, and the Pensacola was hopelessly outgunned. And that's, generally speaking, unless you've got a plan, you shouldn't go down the centre channel, because they just walked into a broadside what they were doing. And you can probably see from the chart on the left, well, there's a bit of assault going on. The New York, I believe, is the next ship to buy it. And you're thinking, we're heavily outnumbered here. We're heavily outnumbered. And I think in the next minute I'm going to say we're going to have to fall back. We're going to have to fall back and do what we can to defend the cap. And let them come to us, because they're coming from both sides. I have to say, that Colorado, yeah, there we go, left flank has collapsed. Colorado is in full retreat. It's got two ships and a destroyer in hot pursuit. So, what's about to happen? The Normandy is about to be pretty heroic, if I remember rightly, and is going to head off down to the bottom, and it's going to engage those ships. The Warspite is also, I think, going to do its bit. The Furitaka is the one that goes down there. So we've set two ships have gone off down to the bottom to try and fend off that attack. And we're falling back to the base. So me and the Warspite are heading back to the base. Warspite's taking a wide angle. Colorado is still on its way back. It's got ships hot on its tail. By now, the destroyer is in that cloud of smoke. We can see it's an angry cloud of smoke. Fortunately, the cyclone's in full force, so we can use that to help our concealment. Obviously, cyclones reduce visibility to 8 kilometres. So I'm using that to full advantage to creep, but we can see there the Colorado is under heavy fire. Now that Colorado is not going to die straight away. It's going to play a pivotal role in winning the game. Absolutely pivotal. So, you can see we've got our two ships down there. Normandy and a light cruiser, the Furitaka, heading down there. They've got to take on 3 ships, possibly 4. The Warspite is kind of sitting in between, and we're doing what we can. We've spread out a line of ships. As you can see, we've created a line of defence. It's a last gasp line of defence right now. I'm in position, and I'm going. My only chance is to ambush, so I'm edging forward. And there we go. We've done a radar, and we've opened up, and there it is. It's the Morioka. We get a good volley on them. Don't set them on fire yet. And it turns slightly, so we miss on that volley. They've shown us broadside, so we're going to go for AP. Looks like RNG's is not helping us. We get 3 ricochets on the belt armour. Again, more ricochets, non-penetrations. But we're doing a bit of damage. Another ricochet off the back there, so it's back to high explosive. Now the Gneisenhower has seen me and it's going to do a lot of damage to me. Fortunately, we've incapacitated the Miyoko. And that Miyoko's just turned broadside to the Colorado. Bad news. In the meantime, I'm leaving the Miyoko to the Colorado. And I'm going to again see if I can punch through the belt, above the belt armour. Unfortunately, didn't get to sit down. I've just taken heavy damage, so I'm retreating behind the island. As you can see, we're outnumbered pretty much 2 to 1. We're going to lose another ship. Remember rightly, we're going to lose another ship. Our Normandy and our Futile are doing an amazing job, but I see a chance to do some damage. There we go, that ship's stationary, we've got some high explosive on it. It gets another good hit on me. I'm down to 11,000 hit points. Armor piercing's coming through. Fortunately, that was over penetration. But this isn't. And we take a big hit. A big hit. Fortunately, again, retreating behind the island. The Warspite comes in, saves the day. Now the Gneisenhower. Get some volleys on that. Again, not getting lucky with the fire. The Colorado is still going. We've still got our Colorado. Armor piercing though again. Can we plunge through the deck armor? No. Again, another volley. Armor piercing, no. We're not getting much luck on that. I've got 13 penetrations, which is not bad. Back to the high explosive, let's get them on fire, see if we can burn them down. Another volley. Torpedoes ready. I can't take many more hits. I'm down to 6,500 hit points. But we even the odds up to 5 ships each. It's staggering that we got back this far. And the Colorado finishes off the Gneisenhower. That Colorado, if it hadn't got back from that flank, we would be really struggling now. But we're going to lose the Warspite. And again, it's 4 on 4. The Warspite gave a little bit too much broadside, but look at that Futile and the Normandy. They're doing a phenomenal job. Now, what do we do now? I'm just out of range of 2 ships. There's the New Mexico, and I believe they've got a light cruiser lurking around there somewhere. I think it's the Omaha. It was last sighted down the south, but it's made its way up to the top. And I'm thinking, I'm going to have to go in here. They're not going to move forward, and they know we have to go in. The Colorado is sweeping round to the top. And I think I have to go in. It's risky. It's a very high risk strategy, this. So low on hit points. So I've told them they're low on hit points and they're capping. And I'm telling them I'm going for support and I'm going in. And luckily, it's pure luck. It's what the Cyclone now works to our disadvantage, but also, in a sense, our advantage. So here we go. We're about to pick up the New Mexico. There we go. Now I don't know what that New Mexico was doing. Whether it was caught by surprise. Its guns are all pointing at me. I'm thinking, I'm dead in a second. I'm dead in a second. And it hasn't fired yet. I think you can't possibly be reloading. Are you switching to armor piercing? They must be switching to different shells. Oh, well, that gives me about 25 seconds to burn them to death. In fact, it gives me so much time. I swing round to get my tops off. Now that Omaha. Hit them again. Hit them again. And torpedoes are away. They're going in. I still haven't been fired at by the ship. Its turrets are locked onto me and I'm thinking, God. So I'm going to concentrate, see if I can take this Omaha out quickly. Set a fire on them. We've got 600 hit points left. I think we get a couple more volleys off. I think the next volley is going to finish me off. Unbelievably, we don't get a citadel. They were angled quite well at us though. However, we got a torpedo hit. And they're flooding. and then burning. And that Mexico is still flooding and burning. And the Colorado, as I swing the camera out in a second now, that Colorado is still having a go at the Omaha. And look at our two bottom ships. They've taken out their defenders, they're going for the cap. We've only got one ship left. It's the New Mexico, and it's about to burn to death. What an amazing game that was. I didn't think we could win that. Thank you for watching. Don't forget to like and subscribe.